Hey, welcome back to another edition of We Talk Photo. I'm John Pedersen, and with me, as always, is Jack Graham.
John,
Happy
good
day,
morning,
Jack.
afternoon, evening.
Afternoon, morning.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah. Well, folks, today we've got a little something different for you. Our last episode, we touched a little bit on getting back to basics, and part of that was involved talking about small cameras. And since that time, I've gone through a lot of questions and comments, and Jack and I have thrown back and forth a lot of different ideas around compact cameras, and it got so much that we decided to do a little podcast about this. And we don't do a lot of gear reviews. We don't want to do a lot of gear reviews going forward, but this was kind of a decision that I'm facing right now, and Jack already faced it and made a choice, but it's something that I'm facing right now. And we thought, maybe some of you all might be kind of facing a choice about should I buy a small camera? Should I get a compact travel camera? Where's my phone good enough? And so we just wanted to kind of have a little conversation about that.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, this is where the camera companies are really making money these days. They're selling more of these kind of cameras, I think, than they are, mirrorless, large stuff. I think this is really a real winner for the camera people right now. So, yeah, it's a good topic to talk about.
Oh, it sure is. And I think, Jack, so I'll go ahead and start off. I think what started me down this road was I love my big cameras, absolutely love them, and I take them with me as often as I can. But there's times where I just want a good quality camera that I can enjoy while I'm traveling, that's not a big, large backpack, and it has good image quality and it's fun to use and yada yada yada. And that kind of got me started down this compact camera. Would it be a good addition to my full sized my APS-C and my medium format big cameras? And I came to the point where I'd love to have a camera with me more often than I do. I know we all say the iPhone is a great camera that's always with us because we're never without our phones. What do you think about iPhone versus a dedicated small camera?
So I've got both. I finally upgraded about a year ago my iPhone 14 to the new iPhone 19 Pro Max, Super Pro, whatever they call it. And um, I, you know, uh, first of all, I think before you decide what to buy, I think it's important to figure out what you want to do with this camera. If you want to use this camera to maybe perhaps make a print down the road, well, you don't count on your iPhone. iPhone is very handy, fits in your pocket, right? But the images are a little artificial. I've had some artifacts. If all you're using an iPhone as a camera for web use, it's great. You want to send an email or put a web image up on Facebook or something. I mean, it's great to do that. But if anything serious, uh, printing or enlarging, it just is not there yet. It's getting there. It's gonna get there, and that's where the world's gonna go. It's not there yet.
But
Uh,
just the physics of an iPhone sensor size. I mean, a lot of that image quality is software driven. I think because that image or that sensor size is so small, you can't natively get a decent sized photograph out of it.
no, no, and it's very noisy. If you you can't adjust ISO on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the cool thing. They've introduced a lot of manual controls, and of course, shooting in RAW helps.
Yeah, but I
Um,
got to tell you that high ISO is the noisiest of any camera that's on the market right now. The iPhone is very noisy at high ISO.
hmm,
So
interesting.
it's got its purposes. But like John, I wanted a camera just to carry around that I wasn't looking for a camera that I was going to want to make a big print to hang up on the wall or whatever, I go every day with my yellow lab. I throw him in the car and we go for a ride. And I always carry a camera with me. And I've taken some nice photographs with it, but I don't use it as my serious camera. Takes great shots. And I'm talking about that Sony RX100 Mark 7. That's what I'm using. However, it's got limitations. It's not it's not my main it's not equal to my main Fuji X-T5
Right.
or the X-T4 or the X-T2 for that matter. But for its purposes, I think it's got a 24 to 200 or 28 to 200 millimeter
28 to
lens.
200. Yep.
It's very, very functional. Um, it's it it's got some stabilization in it, but it is not a pro camera. It's not a camera that I would use to replace my existing XT series cameras.
No,
But for what it is, it's great.
oh yeah, and it fits in your pocket, which is kind of cool. That's the thing. The portability and the size is a huge selling factor for that. And that's kind of again going back to Jack's comment about why, what is why do you want this camera? And if portability is towards the top, that Sony is a fantastic camera.
That
And
sells about 14, $1,500, and they're selling on the used market for about 12 to $1,300.
oh, at least, yeah, yeah.
You know,
It's crazy. The used prices for these compact cameras is through the roof right now because they're quite popular. But
yeah,
I think for me, Jack, is going back to why don't I just use my iPhone? It's when I part of it's mental, right? When I have my iPhone, I feel like I'm just doing a little snapshots and little family thing, and I don't have my photographer hat on when I'm doing my iPhone as much. But if I have a more dedicated camera than my phone, I feel like it's easier for me to get into that creative space and do more sort of artistic things, more so than my iPhone. And maybe that's just a mental block that I have to get over because I know the iPhone, I see beautiful photographs coming out of the phone, from a lot of people, a lot of very creative stuff. But for me, I want something a little bit more dedicated than the phone.
yeah. And I think one of the major drawbacks, especially on my Sony, is the fact that the sensor, you know, you can't cram megapixels on small sensors. You just can't do it. In fact, I tell you that even on the XT5, which is what, 40 something megapixels, it's noisier than my XT2.
XT, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's an APS-C sensor. Now that Sony uses a 1-inch sensor, which is even smaller, and it's noisy. Now, can you take the noise out if you want to process it? Yeah, fine. But, you know, drawback.
Drawbacks. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think I was really starting to look within the Fuji family of compact cameras, and the one that's sort of the hottest thing right now is the X106, and
Great camera.
it is. I mean, it's basically an XT5 with a fixed lens on the front, and but it's got APS-C sensor, it's got in-body stabilization, it's got the latest processors. It's a fantastic camera, and you can't get a one out there in the market. They have been selling like hotcakes for ever since they came out, I think in 2024. And but it's like $1,900. I mean, it's an expensive camera, and it's not pocketable as much as the Sony is. You can still do it, but it's not pocketable as much. But that's kind of one that's sort of been on my radar here to take a look at. And why? I think it comes down to enjoyment, because that's the other thing that I enjoy the act of photography, and having a camera in my hands that helps me enjoy that is a bonus for me.
Well, John, interestingly enough, The Fuji X100, and I did some research on this. I sent John a little spreadsheet. Maybe he could figure out a way to put it up here for you all
Yeah.
to look at. But the Fuji's 5 inches by 2 inches by 2 inches. The Sony is 4 inches by 2.2 inches by 1.5 inches. It's not that much bigger, the Fuji.
Ah,
And the cool thing about the Fuji is A, it's weather sealed if that matters to you. And it's like John said, it's a pro camera. I mean, it's a pro quality. It's an XT5 quality. It's a good value. The thing that bothers me about it is the single lens.
the fixed lens. Yeah.
The, I mean, just the inconvenience. It's cool to have a lens that goes out to 200 millimeters,
Yeah.
but I'm sacrificing quality. But for me, I don't care because I don't use that camera as a serious print making pro camera. It's just throw it in my pocket. If I see something, I have a better camera than my iPhone.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
No, very true. And that's one of the biggest worries I have about a fixed lens camera is because I normally shoot with zoom lenses. I have a couple of primes, but and I've shot primes off and on over the years, but I keep coming back to zoom lenses, and I like the convenience of zoom lenses.
you know.
You
And
know?
if you look at these other cameras on the market, some of the problems, I don't get it. Nikon makes this camera now called the ZF, sells for about $2,200.
Which, by the way, you can buy in blue or orange.
Yeah, and it's a great camera. But here's what they did. They gave you one USB-C memory card and one micro memory card,
Why
micro
micro?
SD card. Why would they do that?
Why micro?
They did
Huh.
that. It's
Well, it's probably a space constraint with the size of the body. This would be
yeah,
my guess.
I guess, but why do I
Yeah.
need a micro? Just throw the one card in like everybody else
Yeah.
does that has small cameras. Um, Sigma brought a camera out that's selling really well. It's a beautiful camera. It's brushed aluminum. It's real, it's just a gorgeous camera, minimalistic camera. It's $2,200. It's called a Sigma BF Bravo Frank. It's got no electronic viewfinder.
Hmm.
It's got no mechanical shutter. It's got no memory card. The memory is inside the camera. And I think it's about a 260. I forget what the size of the memory is, internal memory. I don't trust that. Do you?
No, no, not a
No,
bit. And each time you have to connect your camera to your computer, and I suppose that's no different than a memory card. But again, I don't like that one option. No,
no, and
but
that's why, I mean, I'll tell you, folks, if you're a Fuji shooter and you really want a good value right now, and maybe you own the old Fuji kit lens or that new 18 to 55, which is supposed to be amazing, you can buy a Fuji XE3, X-ray Edward 3, about between $700 and $800.
that's their interchangeable lens one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's interchangeable lenses. You throw one of these small primes on, it's not much bigger than the X100. Um, there's some giveaway drawbacks on it, but dollar for dollar, that may be the best thing to go. Or you know what? Use the iPhone.
yeah. Well, a lot of so this whole discussion just sort of reinforces the point of why do I want a compact camera, and really understanding your own use case for it, what your needs or your wants, for a small camera. And I think for me, it's I the longer I talk about this, the more my desire is to have a almost a pro quality camera that's in a really transportable form factor, that's fun to use. I think that comes down to that sort of my statement of what I'm looking for. Um,
Well, if
yeah.
you're doing that, if and not John, you're 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 better at this than me. But if it were me, I'd either buy the XC3 used, or I'd want to spend the money. I'd buy the XS20, which is a current technology camera. It's about $1,500 new, interchangeable lenses, and it's not that big. It's 5 by 3.5 by 2.5, and weighs 1 pound. You
Yeah.
know, um, the I mean, it's a good. It's got stabilization. I mean, it's a great camera. It's just if you want to pay that kind of money, and what's it worth to you? And I think it is. I think it's really cool to have a small camera. You never know what you're going to see.
Yep.
You don't want to carry your bag around.
Yep. 100%. And I think going back to your comment, Jack, about the camera manufacturers really jumping in hard into this category. I think a lot of it is driven by those content creators on Instagram and YouTube
Yeah.
and all
Yep.
those things. It's
Yep.
all the younger generation that want a fun walk around camera with them for social media.
And
Unfortunately,
they're realizing that the iPhone, as great as it is, isn't there yet.
yep, yep, 100%,
So
100%. So you have the Sony RX100 Mark VII, and I
yep.
still got to figure out what I'm doing. Don't know. Don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
That's the hard part.
Tell you what, after doing this research, I might sell it if you want to buy my Sony. Anybody interested, send me an email. I might sell that and look to buy an XC3. What do you
Yeah,
think about that?
that could be fun. It
You
could
know,
be fun. I mean,
I had
there's,
an XC2. I mean, I remember walking around Reykjavik with an XC2.
yeah,
It's a rangefinder. It's a cool little camera. You
and
kind
that's,
of can see what's coming into the picture before it's really, that X Pro series is interesting too.
yes, yeah, a whole bunch of that stuff. And I think a lot of this whole discussion, it's a luxury for sure, but it's for me, it's about enjoying the craft of photography and always having the ability to do some serious work if I want to. Um, and but really just enjoying using a camera and seeing the world through with a photographic eye. I think that's kind of why I want this compact camera to further give me that opportunity to look via a camera at the world around me. So I think
I,
any of these would be good choices.
I think having something other than an iPhone puts your mind and your head in a different place to be a little bit more creative and think a little bit more about what you're doing.
Yeah, well said. Yep,
And
100%.
and that's really important because you could go out and buy the Leica for about 10 grand or whatever it is. You're still going to take the photograph,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Used
What do we
like
tell
a
people in our image reviews? If your images are crappy, it ain't the camera.
right. Mm-hmm.
So,
No, that's very, very true. So,
but
folks, oh, go ahead, Jack.
no, I was just gonna say, if you're considering buying one of these, like I said, I see if John could put this little spreadsheet up. You could
Yeah,
look at, um, but just before you go spending thousands of dollars, think about what you want to do with this thing. It's more important than the color and the size and the weight and all the other stuff.
yeah, yep, 100%. Because, in doing this, just to add on to that, in doing this research, I've read a lot of stories of people who have, tried out one of these cameras and then just realized, you know what, it doesn't fit for what they wanted. And so they end up having to sell it and lose a few $100s and try something else. And I think that point about being really clear about why you want a new camera is important because these are not cheap. I mean, just in general, not cheap.
Be careful what you read on the internet.
Really? I thought that was all true. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go, John. I'm going to go watch the news because it's all true.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't rot your brain. Well, folks,
Yeah.
if you guys have gone through this decision process for yourself and made a choice, I'd be curious to hear some of your comments. So drop us an email or leave a comment for us. That would be awesome. Take a look at the spreadsheet Jack put together if you're interested in some comparisons of specifications for small cameras. And with that, thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a great day.
Yep, we'll see you soon. And I promise next podcast won't be about gear.
Yep, 100%. All right, folks, take care. Have a great day. Bye
Have a
bye.
good one. Bye bye.